decided to make Autumn Harvest, I wanted to make a film about masculinity, about men and how they relate to each other, and the transition from boyhood to manhood, and that feeling of energy and anger that we as men feel. I wanted to make a film by men, for men, about men, but still accessible across gender lines. Something that people could watch and really encapsulate the feeling of what it is to be a man.
How many was that?
12, I think.
That's ridiculous. He kills 12 psychopathic steroid monkeys with a single gun and doesn't get a single flesh wound. It's bullshit.
It's a movie. You're not supposed to think about that sort of stuff.
Well, it was an exhaustive process to find the two actors. I needed two actors who could be both real and passionate. And that's very difficult to find. I mean, we held open auditions all around the world, from Zimbabwe to New York, and it was an exhaustive process. One of the things that the auditionees had to do is they had to strip nude and then be blindfolded in a room full of knives. And then they had to find their way out of the room full of knives while they were blindfolded and naked. It really puts them in touch with fear, and I can sense from how they deal with that, how they will deal with the confronting script. Obviously, a lot of people got hurt, and I mean, that's what liability insurance is for. But anyway.
Still, it could be a bit more realistic.
Well, how about even after all the firing, he burns himself on the gun barrel? That's more realistic.
How about all those 12 guys he just killed defecate themselves? I mean, just bleh, drop their guts.
Of course, on one of my films, we're very exacting about the editing process and continuity to make sure that everything flows and that the audience are caught up in the illusion of things. I have a very unusual editing practice. I will go to the editors with a bossa nova tune, and I will play them that tune, and I say, that is what I want the film to be. Take this and make that into this.
That's stupid. You don't defecate yourself when you die.
It's true, you do.
Not only sometimes, and it's rare, like 1 in 10.
Well, at least one of those 12 guys must have just backed one out before he died.
It's not like that. When you die, your body becomes like a sack. And if you're not moved right, you could lose your bowels. Or if you're hung and left hanging, you also lose your bowels because of the whole gravity thing.
Of course, being known as a controversial author has its pluses and minuses. I mean, society needs to be confronted. There are certain questions, deep, fundamental questions that we as humans need to know.
Jesus must have shit himself.
In Einstein's universe, my first film, I confronted the idea of whether or not the Big Bang really did occur and what it means to us, and whether or not, as people, we go through our own Big Bangs, our own moments of realization. And then I followed that up in Desert of Tears, where I attacked ideas of loneliness and whether or not we as a society, whether or not we make our own deserts, in which we impose a kind of sparse emptiness on each other. But I really think with Autumn's Harvest we are really attacking the deep questions, the fundamental questions of our own spirituality.
Huh?
Well, he was hung up there and left to die. He must have shit himself.
How could you say something like that?
One of the things I like to do is I like to make sure that every day at least one of the actors and 3 of the crew members are reduced to tears. That's just something that I like to do. I don't know if it helps with the show or not, but I think that it's great. It's certainly helpful and fun. But yes, Autumn's Harvest was an amazing shoot. Really, we went to Marrakesh to film most of the photography. Marrakesh is a wonderful place, and I really think the light of Marrakesh suits the scene perfectly.
He was up there for over 9 hours. He died in the 6th hour. That's a whole 3 hours of hanging there before anyone got to him. And you're telling me his colon defied the laws of gravity?
It's the Bible. You're not meant to think stuff like that.
You know, people ask me all the time, is cinema still relevant? Is cinema dead? And I say no, there's nothing else like that experience of cinema. You can't get that same experience when you're sitting at home watching a DVD as that kind of shared experience when you're sitting in a darkened room with maybe 100, 200, maybe even 500 other people all sharing the same emotional experience at the same time, being almost not a set of individuals anymore, but one whole creature, an audience who are all sharing the same experience, feeling the same emotions at the same time. You know, unless one of them crunches their popcorn too loudly, in which case just punch them in the head, because they've got to shut up and enjoy my art. It's my art. Just shut up and enjoy it, damn it. So yes, theatre, cinema is still relevant.